Hey guys, it's Thursday, October 4th, and I am finally back with a new Hitbox setup and a Week 11 update. In my last video, I said that I would hopefully be gone for 2 weeks max, but that ended up turning into 2 months. Lots of stuff went on during that time, so I figured I'd talk about that really quick before jumping back into the game and continuing my training. So in the last video, I mentioned that my Hitbox was having issues and that it would need specific replacement cables, but for some reason it didn't occur to me that the cable was soldered or soldered, however you want to pronounce that, on, and I would need to do that when I received the cable in the mail. I actually don't have any soldering experience, so I was planning on sending my whole stick back to them, but in the end I decided against it. I figured it would be better to just save up and get a custom hitbox setup with a detachable cable because I wouldn't want to be out for another couple weeks if something were to ever happen again. So I held off on sending it back, and I've spent the past 2 months pretty much just messing around with quite a few different games, two of which I do want to talk about. The first game was StarCraft 2. I still wanted to play something competitive, so I decided to take the same learning approach with SC2 that I was already doing with Street Fighter. I started with the basic mechanics, practicing keybinds, control groups, camera, hotkeys, whatever else, in some special training mode maps, and then I slowly transitioned over to Ranked, where I started taking notes and doing the replay analysis and that stuff. One thing that really surprised me was the massive amount of educational content for that game that fit with the style of progression that I was learning along with. There was tons of videos for build orders and cheesing people for sure, but it felt like there was an equal amount of content dedicated to creating a logical progression of skills for newbies to follow so that they can be as efficient as possible in learning the fundamentals of the game. There were tons of high-level YouTube channels that were making like hour-long lectures on so many different parts of the game, and there were also like bronze to master series that were actually educational. It kind of feels like with Street Fighter, there's like, high-level players that make new accounts for new characters, but they just upload 4-hour sessions of them just demolishing new players all the way up to Diamond. But with StarCraft, it feels like it's more, okay, we're in bronze, this is what we need to focus on, and this is all that I'm going to do this game. They go through their entire thought process and kind of handicap themselves for the purpose of educating viewers. Those are some pretty heavy generalizations though. Frapisaur had some bronze to platinum live streams where he also handicapped himself, and that was super helpful to kind of see and learn from. But the main point that I'm making is just that StarCraft kind of reaffirmed that taking an academic sort of approach with lectures and the notes and the replay analysis, all that stuff, is really what clicks for me. So I'm looking to kind of expand that even further now that I'm able to play again to keep getting better more efficiently. And another thing that I liked about StarCraft 2 were the automated tournaments. Every few hours there's a tournament set up by the server for people of your rank or skill level to play with, and you can win it's like a little icon for your base or whatever. It's mainly for fun. But that being said, even though it wasn't too serious, I still found myself getting nervous during the grand finals of some of the tournaments, and if I would lose, I felt super motivated to keep learning so that I could win again in the future. I've decided that I'm going to be signing up for all of the new Challenger Discord tournaments following this week's matches, to give me time to kind of get back up to speed. And I'll be breaking down those matches on this channel and commentating over that as well. The second game that I wanted to talk about here was my experience with Tekken 7. Back in August, I watched the EVO Top 8 for Tekken, and even though I had never played that game before, those finals were insanely hype. Since then, I've kind of seen a popularity spike for that game with lots of big, mainstream Twitch guys checking it out, and lots of new players asking questions on their Reddit even 2 months after those finals. On top of that, the same friend of mine who got me into Street Fighter to begin with has really been digging Tekken for the past, 6 months, and has recommended it to me as well, so I'm going to be playing that quite a bit on the side. I've already been messing around with it the past couple weeks on keyboard while I was waiting for the stick, and even though I'm still going to be focusing on Street Fighter for now, I'm really enjoying that game a lot. I mean, I'm not good at either of these games yet, right? I'm still new to both. But so far, and I could be completely wrong, but so far it feels like Tekken has a bit more of a slower pace and emphasizes patience a bit more, which allows for a kind of variety of playstyles. With Street Fighter V, so far it's kind of felt like heavy pressure as the name of the game pretty much across the board, even with some of the zoning characters. Though I do see some tournament players who do play more lame, in the defensive terms sometimes. One thing that I do like about Street Fighter though as a 1-up is that it has way better characters. I don't really care for much of the Tekken cast, with the exception of the bears. The bears are really awesome. my buddy is like a super, mega sponsored Grandmaster player and whatnot, so the goal is to eventually be competing on his level at events with him. And that means that eventually I will have to kind of double down on only one game to continue to make progress at that level. I'm gonna play both for now, but I don't know, something about Tekken has kind of clicked for me so far, so maybe later on I might focus on that. That decision is many months away though. I'm not even close to, platinum or diamond level in either of the games, so I don't really know which one I want to focus on. But the final topic that I want to make a note on is this series. So I only played Colleen for like 2 months, and now I've been gone from the game for like 2 months, which means I'm gonna need some time to relearn her and get back up to speed. Oddly enough, despite being super excited for the release of G, I've kind of forgotten about him until now. I've seen streamers messing around with him, and he's still super cool, like, visually and whatnot, but for some reason I've only been looking forward to coming back and playing Colleen, so the plan is just to stick with her even past Platinum until I feel like I want to mix things up and check G out. I'm going to spend this coming week just relearning my combos, reviewing my notes, and all that good stuff, so I wouldn't expect another update until next weekend, probably 13th or 14th, where I'll start learning new skills once again, so I'll see you guys then.